The Lost Art of Closing by Anthony Iannarino. So let's look inside the book, let's look at the chapters, let's look at my favorite ideas from this book and see what's inside, see if it's worth for you to read the book. So here is the cover, The Lost Art of Closing, and let's go straight to the table of contents and see what's in here. So if you look at the chapter, you see here a series of commitments. Commitment for time, commitment to explore, to change, to invest, to review, to resolve concerns, to decide, and finally commitment to execute, I guess. Yeah. So the whole premise of the book is that instead of approaching B2B sales situation as I need to close, I need to win the sale, I need to close the sale. This type of approach to selling was good back in 1930s. It's good still today if you're selling something cheap, something that doesn't require too much work on your client to implement. But if you're selling a complex solution in a B2B environment, you cannot just come and ask for a sale. You need to talk to your prospects, you need to book a meeting, you need to talk to one stakeholder, another stakeholder, see what they're doing, how they're doing, see how your solution is going to make a difference. It's a really long process. And if you just approach that process from the angle that, hey, I need to close a sale, then there is a massive disconnect. The buyer is not ready to buy, and if you just ask for a sale too early or too late or too soon, the sale is not going to go through. Now, there is another side of it that right now salespeople who come from technical engineering backgrounds, I deal a lot of CEOs and salespeople that come from a life science background. And they come from the angle, hey, I don't want to push my customer. And they actually don't ask for a sale, they don't ask for advance. And what's happening is that they never close. So Anthony Iannarino also mentioned that situation, that the pendulum went from one side where everyone wants to always be closing, right? And that creates a disconnect, and customers felt that they're being pushed. And this pendulum went to all the other side where no one is actually asking for a sale. So actually a salesperson who should be leading a sales interaction is actually not leading the sales interaction. So the solution to that in this book, and it's asking for a series of commitments. So each commitment here in the book, the commitment for time. So we are closing our prospect on the idea of meeting with us. Then we are closing them on the commitment to look into their situation, see what they're doing, how they're doing it. Commitment to change. We want to make sure that our initiative is the initiative that they actually want to execute right now. We're asking them for that commitment. So entire sales process, entire selling in B2B environment, from the perspective of this book, is viewed as a series of commitments that we are gaining from our prospect, from our customer in the process of selling the product. So let's look at a couple of chapters. And the first chapter that I want to look into is the commitment for time. Somewhere down the line, Anthony mentions that commitment for time is the most important commitment, one of two most important commitments that we want to gain from our prospect. Because, they don't know who we are, or maybe they do, but when we're reaching out and we're saying, hey, we want to sit down with you and see if we can make your life better, it's really hard for salespeople to book those appointments. And so asking for that commitment for time, it's a lot of work on the salesperson end, and it's one of the most crucial commitments to gain. Now, and this is what this chapter is about. Yeah, it actually does say even here that commitment for time is the most difficult commitment to gain. Now, if you scroll down here, you're gonna see something really interesting. Oops, where is it? Oh yes. So what Anthony says here is, first and foremost, don't ask for time by email. Interesting. So interesting. Wait. Now we've established that email is definitely off the table. let's book appointment by phone. And when I was reading the book, and I was like, yeah, Anthony Narino, the guru of sales, of selling, like the person I definitely want to learn from. And I got to hear, I'm like, what? Seriously? My opinion of Anthony went from here to down there, because emails is the most efficient way of booking appointments, obviously depending on the industry. But right now, 90% of appointment booking is done by email. And Anthony apparently is very, very too far from the touch with reality. Now, you need to forgive him because he's been in sales leadership positions for the last 30 years. So he probably haven't booked appointments. So when you come to this point, ignore this, keep reading. This book is still good. And just, if you're new to sales, realize that this is not advice you want to follow. There is a bit of detail here, strategy on how to book appointment on the phone. And look, again, there is a call-in script here. It is barely okay. You're gonna absolutely, it doesn't even bring up the point that there are gatekeepers, that there is a voicemail. 90% of the time you're going to be dealing with voicemail. You need to learn how to leverage it. And even before voicemail, you need to deal with gatekeepers. So look, the advice is the tactical advice is absolutely horrible and absolutely useless. Okay, just keep that in mind. And guess what? In this chapter, commitment for time. Oh yeah, here is more about script. In this chapter about commitment for time, there is nothing about LinkedIn. And again, LinkedIn is absolutely powerful tool for booking appointments. And especially Anthony gives more example down in the recruitment industry, in a industry related to HR. And if you are in HR in some industries, LinkedIn is absolutely powerful. So if you are, just ignore his tactical advice, keep reading about strategy. Commitment to explore, this is our discovery call. So pretty much on the call, we want to make sure that we talk to customers about their problem. Commitment to change. This is actually a really good chapter, and a really good idea here is because, look, we are as salespeople, we are agents of change, and for companies, not changing is worse than changing, but no one wants to change. And there is really good quote, I think, here that I want to dig out. Yes, so what, like this quote here, for example, entire industries are suffering these days because they aren't keeping up with the deep disruptions and fast-paced change needed by technology. So companies stop innovating, ignore the technology changing, and that's the real danger. So everyone wants to stay in status quo, but if you think of Nokia and Motorola, the absolutely awesome leaders in the cell phone market, and right now no one even knows what Nokia is in the cell phone market, because they just like their status quo, they didn't want to change. So as salespeople, when we come to customers meeting, we are agents of change. We need to realize that the customer wants to stay in status quo, but it's our responsibility to lead that change. And if that change doesn't happen, 3-5 years down the road, that customer can be gone as a business because they haven't kept innovating. So that's really valuable kind of insight, strategic, not tactical vision from this book, is that change needs to happen. Customer doesn't want it, but we need to make it happen. Don't be shy about bringing change to your customer. Now, there's another really massive commitment. Collaborate is obviously about involving other stakeholders here. And in B2B environment, we're rarely dealing with one decision maker. We're dealing with technical buyer, with person who signs the check, and all kinds of people who, if they're left ignored, they're gonna stall that sale. So we need to make sure that everyone who has a stake in this technology, in this change, needs to be part of that change. So that's commitment to collaborate and commitment to build consensus. about that commitment to invest. Here's another absolutely golden nugget. Let me see if I can find a quote for you. The danger of underinvesting. Most of the time, generating better results requires making a big investment. And somewhere here, there's a line where Anthony says, hey, someone on your customer end probably understands that they are underinvesting in this area of their business. They want to invest more in order for that area of their business to develop. Guess what? You come there, you're not asking for money. You're not asking them to spend money on you. You're giving them opportunity to invest in the area of business that needs to grow. How massive change in thinking there. And also the danger, and also the beauty here, another really great thought here in this book, also kind of strategic vision thought, is that we've been trained to think that customer wants cheaper, faster, better, faster, and cheaper, right? But better and faster means more expensive. So if you have something of value, if you have something that can do things better and faster, it's going to be more expensive. And we need to bring that up front to the customer early in the interaction to tell them, hey, look, you want these goals achieved. We can achieve them for you. We can do it much faster than the competition. We can deliver you better results than the competition, or better results overall. You're going to have massive change, but you have to pay for it. Look, it's not going to be cheaper. This is the price for the change that you want. This is the price for the difference that you want to make. And bringing that up early in the conversation, there's no need to be shy about it. Look, they want to change. They want live in a better world. They want their business to run differently. They have to pay for it. And even as a buyers, we often also use price as a shortcut. When we see something more expensive, we know it's better quality. So when we're selling our products, let's put the price up front, especially if we're selling premium products or premium services. Let's just say, this is what it costs. Are you willing to pay this much for the difference that we're going to make for you? So, and there is a chapter about for sales management, frontline sales management, how to train their sales team in terms of making them better at managing those commitments. So, overall impression of the book. As I already kind of explained my dissatisfaction with the chapter about appointment setting, a chapter about commitment gaining. The tactical advice in this book is missing, horrible, or just mediocre. So don't look for tactical advice in this book. The strategic advice is fantastic. So just changing helped me to change the way I think about certain things, especially about investment and especially about change. So that is absolutely powerful and absolutely valuable. The book is an easy read, sometimes gets a bit boring. And another little good thing here is that there are some anecdotes, there are some stories about certain sales situations that help to gain a little bit perspective on how Anthony sees the sales process and sales situations. So from that perspective, it's also a good read. 3 stars out of 5. Give it a read if you're ready for it.